Hello, my name is Elizabeth Prelinger. I'm a professor of art history at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., and the Museo del Palacio de Bellas Artes has very kindly invited me to come and speak about the Munch show. Munch is one of the most interesting of modern artists because not only did he have an amazing and interesting life, but he also created some of the most remarkable works from his experiences in a very complex and interesting life. Munch is one of those very rare artists like Rembrandt or Goya, who is as well known for his prints as he is for his paintings. So he made almost 800 different works of graphic art in all different media. He made intaglio prints, he made lithographs, he made woodcuts, and in this exhibition you can see examples of all of them. I wanted to start quickly looking at the sick child because it actually depicts his sister Sophie, who died when she was 15 of tuberculosis. And here we see the figure of this dying girl sitting there with a woman who is caring for her. But look what he did when he remade this image into a lithograph. Here are two examples of his lithograph version of this theme. What he did was to cut out all the extraneous part with the aunt, for example, and the bed, and just focus on this head against the pillow. But then look what he did here. He was able to use the same lithographic stone that he had made that image on, but instead to ink it in black with the hair in red. So instead of having a rather bloody image, you have a very dark and deathly image. And that's one of the things that Munch was so brilliant at in terms of being a graphic artist. It's sometimes said that Munch had a lot of difficulty with women and hated women, but that really isn't the case. So here you have these two figures before a window, but they're actually hidden in this studio room. And if you look very, very carefully right here, you'll notice that you can't distinguish the two faces. They've actually blended in together with only a few little strokes. So what he's tried to do with this is to emphasize the closeness of the figures and the romantic quality of this particular image. And then you have him making a woodcut version. So it's another example of how Munch worked in all different graphic media. And he took a piece of wood and he sawed out this figure. It's not really one figure, it's the woman and the man, but with their faces now entirely blended together. And do you notice now how abstract it's become? It's become so abstract that it looks like a cipher or a sign. And this is what is so emblematic of Munch as a symbolist printmaker. Love, death, anxiety, loneliness, those themes permeated the work of his lifetime from his birth in 1863 to about 1908. Here we have three examples of him dealing with this theme, which shows a man and a woman alone on a shore, and not just alone from other people, but isolated from each other. So all you see is their backs, and they look out to the sea completely alone. Now he did another dry point and etching where you can see him working with very, very fine lines. But then, as we saw in The Kiss, he moved to these grand woodcuts where he's again reduced the theme to a very symbolic, stylized, abstracted kind of form. During his early years, he was very much involved with the symbolist artists in Paris and Berlin, and in fact it was in Berlin where he received his first fame. The Norwegians were very conservative artists, and when they saw works like Anxiety, for example, or The Scream, they were absolutely shocked. With his fatigue and with his sad life of losing his mother, his sister, and then later his father, he became very depressed and also began to drink a lot, and it was this very difficult time that led him to create some of his finest paintings. Some people think that he's one of the first expressionist artists. On the other hand, he also was very much related to late 19th century Art Nouveau in his work, with the very kind of sinuous lines that he used. So he fits really in the middle of two different movements, symbolism and expressionism, both in his paintings and in his prints.